Is Jesse Livermore the greatest trader of all time? He was the boy plunger, man who conquered Wall Street. In 1929, as the world crumbled into chaos, Jesse Livermore walked away with the modern-day equivalent of $1.5 billion. Jesse Livermore was born in 1877 to a poor farming family in Massachusetts. But even as a boy, Jesse knew he wasn't meant for the fields. He wanted more, much more. At just 14, he left home with $5 in his pocket and took a job in a bucket shop, the early 1900s version of a gambling den for stock trading. By carefully studying price movement, he started to predict stock behavior with uncanny accuracy. And by the age of 20, Jesse had turned $5 into $1,000. A fortune in those days. This was only the beginning. Jesse quickly earned the nickname the Boy Plunger. Why? Because he wasn't afraid to bet big, especially when it came to shorting stocks. Livermore didn't just trade stocks, he thrived in chaos. When markets crashed, Livermore soared. But his rise wasn't without controversy. Livermore was so good at predicting prices that he was banned from nearly every bucket shop in town. So, what did he do? He took his skills to Wall Street, the big leagues. In 1907, the stock market faced its first major crisis, the Panic of 1907. While others saw disaster, Jesse saw opportunity. Betting against the market, he walked away with $3 million, roughly $90 million today. Livermore was no longer just a trader. He was a legend. He became the embodiment of the American dream, a self-made millionaire with an empire of wealth. But beneath the surface, cracks were starting to form. The 1920s were a golden age for Livermore. He bought yachts, mansions, and the finest clothes. But even as his personal fortune soared, Jesse's personal life was crumbling. Failed marriages, strained relationships, and a relentless obsession with the market consumed him. Then came 1929, the Great Depression. The stock market collapsed, wiping out millions of investors. But Jesse, he saw it coming. By shorting the market, Livermore made the single greatest trade of his career. $100 million in profit, an amount so large, newspapers branded him the Great Bear of Wall Street. At that moment, Jesse Livermore was the king of Wall Street. But what goes up must come down. Despite his immense wealth, Livermore's addiction to the market and risky trades soon caught up with him. He lost it all, every last cent. Bankruptcy filings replaced champagne toasts, and his once glamorous life became a shadow of its former self. By the 1930s, Jesse Livermore was broke, battling depression and estranged from his family. On November 28, 1940, Jesse Livermore entered the Sherry Netherland Hotel in New York. Alone and deeply troubled, he wrote a final letter to his wife. Hours later, he took his own life. The man who once ruled Wall Street was gone, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance and tragedy. So, was Jesse Livermore the greatest trader of all time? His trading genius was undeniable. He predicted market collapses, turned pennies into millions, and revolutionized how traders approach the stock market. Today, his lessons are immortalized in trading books and whispered among Wall Street veterans. What do you think? Is Jesse Livermore the greatest trader of all time, or is he simply a legend who flew too close to the sun? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories of Wall Street's most iconic figures.